I don't know if I have the competence to talk about this, but also I think I do because I'm seeing things that are happening. I want to talk about the attention we give to human beings. Human beings. Because if we also look at what is God's will, right from the creation, everything is centered on the human person. To my mind calls immediately that the man that Jesus healed by sending 2,000 swine into the sea by perishing them. And the people of that town, they sent Jesus away. This tells us the type of value that God has on human being and the value we human beings have on wealth. In the world, we see that the emphasis is on wealth and not on the human person. That's why you explain, for example, the fact that money can move from country to country without going through checks. You can transfer money immediately, but human beings don't go without visa, without checks. So it tells you where our value are. Human beings are manipulated to get wealth because we feel that when we have wealth, we have security. Akonesio bike they say in Igbo. Now, this human being, we begin our journey on earth when we are born. How are we taken care of? Or rather, let me leave it now. This one does not concern us. How do we take care of human beings who are entering into the world at that very delicate moment, delicate time? So this discussion concerns more married couples, because you are the first protagonists, the first people responsible for framing, constructing the human society. The way you construct the human beings that God gives into your hands, especially at this delicate moment, the initial time. A man and a woman getting married, what do they discuss? About child upbringing. The schools, the church, the outside people, they are there to help. And we cannot give what we don't have. Therefore, if I do not build myself, I cannot give. Take for example, I have a wife and I feel that only my wife should take care of the children. Something is wrong with my head. How do I consciously, intentionally build time with these kids, build trust with them at that very beginning? From the part of the man, how do I know, for example, that my wife, who should have more time, this is not about feminism, or no, we should remove every unnecessary stupid talks. My wife who is to breastfeed the child, yes, my child will be breastfeeded. For her to have this time, how am I to contribute in other things, in also helping to hold the child, maybe in house chores? It's not about man, woman, no. It's a clear fact, because if I don't create the chance, if we don't have this discussion, if for example we want someone to be a help, maybe my mother or her own mother, who are these people? What values? The value about God, the value about service, the value about love, the value about truth. What values do we have in our family that we are inculcating into the life of this child? On the part of the woman, which is even where there is more call for service, because the actual crisis of this world is that most women now, in trying to respond to patriarchism, now they are exaggerating their issue of feminism. That you see a woman, some don't even want to carry they don't want to carry pregnancy because it will disrupt their career. think, and you want to have a child. If you don't want to have a child, there is no problem. Remain in the career, grow, your name will be known, but do not do justice to children, bringing them into this world when you don't plan, when you don't have that mind of service. So now, a child that is about 3 months, okay, for most of us who work, who are not doing maybe their personal business or things that they are able to control in terms of time they can give. Now, you leave for work in the morning. Some people will even leave for work before 6 a.m. and they return at night. For a child, a baby that is about 3 months to 6 months, I'm not saying that it is just, I'm not saying that it is unjust, but we should rethink. Is there any other means, or is there not any other way? If that career is something that could wait, if someone can take something that is part-time, maybe something that you're able to do and still have full time for that child, why continue with trying to build something that, yes, you have a good career, you have a good work, yes, you have a good name, but then you disconnect with the child, you disconnect with the family. So let us consider all these things as we think, especially we, the younger generation who are entering into marriage, we already who are into marriage. How much time do we have for our kids? And this is even more needed now with the means of communication, where before you know it, your child is completely gone, because the influences are so much. That is when we need to maximize our time, our attention that we give to these precious gifts that God gives to us, because human beings are being born. Our world is already corrupt. So many things are bad. That's why we need to purify the space that we create for these children at that very, very delicate moment. So I'm not saying that you should stop your work. I'm not saying you should continue your business. I'm not saying that maybe it depends on, maybe that's all these discussions should be taken care of as people get into marriage, as people continue to live in their marriage, because things change. We continue to pray that God gives us the enabling environment, gives us the wealth, gives us the resources, gives us the time. But then let us know where our values lie. I'm privileged to have been maybe a teacher, so I know what it means to have time for human beings. And so when I emphasize on this issue of time, I know what I'm talking about. So we can't be a mother, we can't be a father without sacrifice. It has no meaning. You better just stay, two of you settle together without having children, than bringing children into this world without having that time for them. My dearest sisters, please bring out the love in you. There's nothing to fight about with men. Have time to carry your baby. Have time to breastfeed and pay close attention to your child. Let me hope that I communicated my message. I also expect your reactions and everything. Thank you.